coming in?
Hot money.
Hot money.
Goes
It's
in and
hot
out.
money coming in.
Akala ko mga negosyante lang yun, mga sila Sobel, sila Pangilinan, pinapasok nila yung pera nila dyan eh.
Because let's admit it, you know, he gives hope to people, to businessmen, that he might do well, better at least. So let's take advantage of it. But that doesn't really mean that he's going to do real good in the next 6 years. We have to wait a little. That's why we have to give him a little time.
So it's not fair to evaluate. It's incorrect.
No,
it's incorrect.
Because I cannot see the basis, you know, from which we could judge whether he's really done. On the matter of leadership, perhaps, you know, there are some lapses. Okay. If I were he, I would have sacked Puno right then and there. Because he may be a good friend, but he's already tainted. You know, he's
not once but twice.
Yeah, he's no longer effective. He will not be effective, and he's damaging his own credibility by not sacking him. All right, I mean,
even Romulo, for that matter.
Romulo, you know, he has broken.
He
has broken the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act.
Even just on the billboard, you're pointing that out to me. Meron siyang billboard doon, yung mukha niya nandoon eh.
Putting the payroll, you know, on the DFA payroll.
Isa pa yun, yung nakatulong niya. Mali eh.
But that will lead to others, you know, what's to stop others in his team from committing a similar offense? And then eventually
so maybe that's the lapses you're talking. That's exactly the lapses. He has to deal with the firm hand.
Breaking
para pakita niya sa taong bayan, mali ka, out ka. Dapat gano'n. Diretsuhan, mabilisan.
That's what I meant when I said...
Then his executive secretary, Ochoa, he made Noy sign 3 illegal appointments, DFA undersecretaries.
You pointed that out in the column.
I mean,
illegal yun,
hanggang ngayon, dinidedman nila.
Oh, look the other way. Pero alam mo, hindi napipick up ng mainstream media yung mga ganyan eh.
Alam nila yan. Alam nila yan.
Ayaw nga nila i-pick up.
They read my column. I can tell you that. You know.
He appointed. He made Noy sign
3 appointments illegal against the law.
Yes.
Dinidedman nila hanggang wala silang ginagawa. Hindi kakalimutan na yan.
Ngayon, binabalik na nga yung mga seso na tinanggal niya. Supposed to be. Kasi mali.
So, doon sa parting yon, he has broken several promises he made during the campaign. I was all high hopes for him. You know, I backed him all the way in my column. And then, I cannot help but get disappointed when he breaks a lot of them.
Or inaction.
Breaking the, rule of law. Diba sabi niya, rule of law. Change. He promised change.
Hope and change. Hope and change. Nagtutunog ka ng mga Amerikano na wala naman nangyayari sa ekonomiya nila.
Tapos, what really bothers me now is he's beginning to look like an amboy.
That part I don't like.
What do you mean amboy? What do you mean amboy?
For American interests.
American boy.
Yes.
An American boy or a boy of the Americans?
Well, whichever one you choose, But and that,
Pro-America masyado.
I was hoping...
Alam mo, delikado yan in a regional, strategic regional location. Diba?
Geopolitics.
Geopolitics, it's wrong.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would be a little bit more wary and look more after our national interest, But it doesn't look like that way. It's beginning to show that he is no less of an amboy than his predecessors.
That's not good. Let's go to the budget.
Well,
that's part of his administration, the first 100 days, because they've already promoted what they want the budget for 2011. It's
correct.
It's 1.56, correct?
1.6.
Trillion, 1.6 trillion, but based on ground zero budgets, meaning they've reduced everything, no less than Be Nice. Nagrereklamo siya, di ba? Tinanggalan siya ng 29 million.
May dinagdagan, yung DSWD.
At saka, you know what, they're going to float some more bonds. Meaning, they'll keep on borrowing. That cannot be helped because there are only 2 ways of raising money for government. One is you raise taxes. And he's not going to do that, he said, until it's the last resort. And number 2 is you have to borrow.
No, collect more taxes. I mean, collect
that's it.
taxes.
That's tax
implement tax collection.
That's tax administration, which they're trying to do now. But, in fact, the Millennium Challenge provided $54.2 million for
Improve tax collection.
Improve tax collection, administration of taxes. Now,
Computerization, yun, if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to come in and help out in the computerization. Someone's going to make money again out of the supply. Of course, yun na naman, demand-supply relationship.
no, but in fairness also to the BIR, they really need instant reporting from all the treasurers in the country, and you need really the software and the latest of the state of the art when it comes to that.
So we've got the budgets. They're promoting a reduction. They're trying to cover the deficit. There's an honest direction or an honest movement towards trying to improve the fiscal deficit. There is also a very obvious intent to try and curb corruption. Those who've been making money over the many, many years, supposedly, that we've been reading in the newspapers. We've got the wetting and those who are making money out of it corrupt ways. But then again, alam mo, nakakatakot yan kasi pag mga general at lahat yan, hindi na kumita mga yan, baka mamaya sila ang pupunta sa Malacanang, they might want to get a bigger pie, a bigger piece of the pie. That's a bit dangerous. There's a reason why wetting is there. There's a reason why all this underground is there. So, gentlemen, are we in trouble? We've got 100 days. Oh, we put on our seatbelt, support the president, keep going, but watch very carefully.
I still feel that we're not out of the woods, you know.
No, without question, we're not. Without question.
And there are still landmines.
But the economy is not doing too bad based on the indices. But then again, this is not necessarily he's doing. It's still GMA. Maganda based on those figures. The problem is everyone else is crying out. Ang pagkain hindi bumababa, hindi nagti-trickle down effect. That takes years, di ba?
Ito ang tingnan natin. Year 2013, di ba sinasabi natin dito paulit-ulit, 100 million Filipinos by 2013.
Well, he's making an effort. He's curbing it with, well, at least with this latest thing with Father Damaso, the Damaso issue with the church. I mean, hey, at least he's the first president who's ever come out and said, hey,
but
politically incorrect,
yeah,
but theoretically correct based on information and surveys and whatnot.
But
that's the right thing to do. Educate the people.
Yeah.
It's the church nagkamali dito.
But the hard fact of life is, never mind the church, never mind all these contraceptives. But the fact is, there will be more mouths to feed unless we have the real stress, real emphasis on science and technology. You can't improve your rice production. You cannot improve your food security. You'll have a problem unless you increase your technology and science and really use it.
Even before
shipping is going to be.
But even before you even go into R&D and investment on technology, carp and land redistribution, it's never worked anywhere around the world. I don't see why it's going to work here.
It's worked in Taiwan.
Yeah, but our production has gone down in the last 3 decades simply because of this. Di ba? Pabaliktad eh. Hindi naman food production. It was a social issue. Gentlemen, we've already reached the top of the hour again, and we're going to have to end the show, but I'd like to give the opportunity for both of you to give your points of view directly to our viewers. So let's start with Ambassador Ray Arcilla. This camera, sir.
Some people have asked me if I have turned against Noy Noy. My answer is a categorical no. Not yet. But you see, if I didn't point out some of the things that I feel are against his campaign promises, if he keeps breaking them, then we'll be going back to square one. Like some people who have obviously broken the law and he's not doing anything about it. What is to keep others in his team from committing similar offenses and feel that they can get away with it also? That could eventually to more severe or serious offenses, and then with greater impunity. That would be going back, or that would be like GMA Act Part 2. We don't want that. We want him to succeed. And if I didn't point out such things, none in his coterie will do it. They won't do it. So he will be thinking everything is just going dandy. Somebody has to point out those things to him. And it's up to him to rectify whatever errors he may have made and listen to critics.